Oh, say love that song, sing, bend for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hello there, Chinook fans. Welcome to some Chinook baseball. I'm Cale Duarte, joined by Ryan Beck. Tonight, your Chinooks, the All-Star game is done. The showcase is done. It is crunch time. Tonight, your Chinooks have a doubleheader against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, which starts the next 12 games, which marks the last 12 games of the season tonight. Your Chinooks come into this game in conference play, 13 wins, 19 losses. That is good for 5th and last place of the ABL. The Pilots are on a roll, 7-3 in their last 10. Even 500, 15 wins, 15 losses. Ryan, we start the last 12 games. Right now as it stands, if the playoffs started, we'd be looking out. What is the plan for tonight?
We got to start. You just got to take these couple ball games. Right now, optimistically, the race is still really, really close. The Pilots are only a game ahead of the Chinooks. Now, that can all change with one game today, and there's 2 games today. So it could be the Chinooks jump ahead. Right now, we do have a bit of a horse race. It's only 2.5 games out of second place. So it's a very tight race, except for the Matsu Miners. So right now, optimistically, the Chinooks just need to focus, settle in, and they should be able to, pull out that victory and move up in the standings and make the playoffs.
And Ryan, I think you said it best. Horse race it is. On the mound is Alden Huschel from Seattle University, who puts a first strike pitch in there for the Pilots. And that's chopped foul by Jeremy Johnson, the leadoff hitter. Playing center field tonight, following him is Levi Gilcrease, the Baylor Bear in right field. Batting third, the second baseman, Brandon Mitchie. Aaron Loveshack Shackelford at third base, and the cleanup hole at 4. Justin Gomez playing DH, batting 5th. Preston White batting 6th and playing left. Luke Coffey, the first baseman tonight, batting 7th. Adam Rojas in the squat, playing catcher, batting 8th. And Alex Schmitz playing shortstop, batting 9th as Johnson grounds out to the third baseman for out number 1, and Levi Gilcrease coming to the plate. Alden Huschel, like I said, the starting pitcher of the Pilots, comes into this game in 3 starts, 2 wins, 2 losses. 22 and a third innings pitched, good for a 3.62 ERA. The Chinooks actually saw him on July 10th, as Huschel got the win in that game with 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, as that one's chopped past the pitcher. Out to second base as Gilcrease grounds out to Tippler out there for out number 2. So a quick 2 outs here for the Chinooks. And Ryan, it's been a while since we played competitive baseball where the games have meant something.
It has been a little bit of a while, but it's not too hard to get back into that competitive atmosphere if you've been doing it for a while. So hopefully that doesn't hinder the Chinooks from tonight from being able to execute what they know to be doing right. As Mitchie takes that outside for ball 1.
Brandon Mitchie, who represented the Chinooks, one of the 8 to make the All-Star game that was on display on Sunday. He takes that one in for strike 1, excuse me. A 1-1 from Huschel to Mitchie here. He is outside for ball 2. Mitchie comes into this game hitting .269 and 108 plate appearances, 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 homers. as he awaits the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch from Huschel on the hill for the Pilots. And Mitchie chops that out to first. Cuba Bess over there flips over to Huschel as he steps on the bag. The Chinooks go down in order 1, 2, 3. When we come back, Mike Batten on the mound for the Chinooks. Bottom of the first, 0-0 ball game. We'll be back with more Chinook baseball. Bottom of the first here as the Chinooks went down in order 1, 2, 3. On the mound for the Chinooks is Mike Batten from Southern Wesleyan University. Batten in 9 games, 7 of those starts, 2 wins, 3 losses, a 3.82 ERA, 37 2/3 innings under his belt this season, 33 strikeouts, 30 walks, and 33 hits. As Will Brennan, the leadoff hitter here from Kansas State, stepping to the plate for the Pilots. The bottom of the first here in this Alaska Baseball League action. Batten looks in, gets the sign from Rogers, and the first pitch of Batten's career in this game is good for strike 1. Early hole here for Brennan. A left-handed hitting Stillwell, Kansas native. 8-0-1. It misses inside for ball 1. In the field tonight for your Chinooks. Behind the dish, playing catcher, Adam Rogers. Down at first base, Luke Coffey. Second base, manned by the Aussie, Brandon Mitchie. Playing the hot corner, Aaron Shackelford. The shortstop, Alex Schmitz. And from left to right, Preston White, Jeremy Johnson, and Levi Gilcrease. As Batten finds the strike zone there. Goes up, 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, and nobody on. And that one comes in for ball 2. Brennan hitting .320 this season. He was named to the All-Star team as well. See what he can do here. 2-2 pitch from Batten. First bat of the game for the Pilots. And loses a bit of control on that one. That sails outside for ball 3. Well, like Ryan mentioned, this is a horse race. And tonight, we're not the only doubleheader. The Oilers are also playing a doubleheader against the Bucks. As the Oilers, and same with the Bucks, but more focusing on the Oilers, those games will have huge impact on the Chinooks, as that one is tipped foul by Brennan. He'll stay alive here on this full count of 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now, Ryan, I was talking to somebody. It wasn't this close last season.
It wasn't. It was more of a blowout for the Miners. And, I mean, this year it's a little bit more exciting as everyone's just a little bit closer as Brendan takes that for ball 4. But a little bit closer, so it definitely has that feel of anybody can win. It's just going to come down to who can pull it out in the last couple of games and just edge out the line here.
Well, when you look at the standing, the Miners in first place, 20 wins, 12 losses. But only 3 games back of them is the Anchorage Bucks, who are 17 and 15. Pilots, 15-15, only 4 games back of them, 1 game back of the Bucks. Then you have the Oilers, 13-17, 6 games back of the Miners for first place. And then you have the Chinooks in last place. It should be noted, though, that the Oilers have played 2 games less. So you never know if the Oilers make up those 2 games and lose. Chinooks and Oilers will be even. As Batten against Andre Gregory, the third baseman, takes that one for strike 1 as Will Brennan stands on first after he worked his way with a walk on base. Runner on first, nobody out here. The bottom of the first is Batten. Miz on the outside on the left side of the batter's box to even up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Gregory seen the ball very well, hitting .325 this season. Out of University of New Mexico, a Sacramento, California native. Awaiting the 1-1 from Batten, but first, Batten throws over to first. Nothing going on as Brennan slides in safely. Beautiful day here in Anchorage. Yesterday, though, down in Chugiak and Eagle River, a little bit gloomy, a little bit foggy. It's nice to see the sun for a change.
It is.
1-1 pitch, and that one is out to right field. Gilcrease takes a few trots back, and it's going to camp under that one and put that away for out number 1. Two off days in a row on Sunday and Monday, and then an off day on Wednesday. Ryan, you do anything special here in Alaska?
No, not really. I mean, hopefully get some hiking in, but...
Been on a few hikes with my host family. Sunday night, I camped at a lake down in Chugiak. Woke up at 2 a.m., had to go to the bathroom. Let's just say it was the quickest pee I've ever had in my lifetime, knowing there are bears outside. There's one away here, and Cuba Best to the plate. Cuba Best from Grand Canyon University, hitting .325 this season. And he goes down in the dirt, goes after that one, and swinging a miss for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Will Brennan stands on first. 1 out in the score sheet here in the bottom of the first. And 0-0 ball game. Batten looks in, the 0-1 to Bess. Batten checks over to Brennan once more. Brennan does have 8 steals this season. So he is something to keep an eye on. As we'll see here if he gets the plug. With 1 out here and Cuba Best will win the 0-1. And there goes Brennan. Rojas throws down to Schmitz. Schmitz has all the time in the world to apply a tag. Great throw there by Rojas.
Excellent mechanics there. Just got up, chucked it over there, and it was perfect placement, too, for Schmitz. No extra movement necessary. It was pretty much, once the ball was caught, he was already in position.
Oh, it looked like it was in slow motion.
It was, and I mean, Brennan is not a slow person by any means, and he was waiting for him.
So Rojas, a little arm display action there as Batten. Missed on that one and misses again for 2 balls and 1 strike here. And 2 outs and nobody on after Rojas gunned down Brennan trying to take second. The 2-1 from Batten. And that one's chopped out to Schmitz. Schmitz backhands that one and loses the grip. Has to hurry the throw to first. And that is not going to be in time as Cuba Bess hustles down the line. As Alex Schmitz out there at shortstop. Looked like he had the backhand, but looked like the ball placement was just a tad up on his arm. And could not come up with that one. And that's going to be an error on Schmitz and a runner aboard for the Pilots. And another GCU antelope to the plate, Ian Evans, who's hitting .333 this season. Takes that one in for strike 1 from Batten. Runner aboard on first with 2 outs, bottom of the first. And Ian Evans, the 5'10 right-hander, to the plate from Covina, California. Awaits the 0-1 from Batten. Good off speed, but just hung up a tad for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on first. Ian Evans, the left fielder for the Pilots, awaits the pitch. Good location there by Batten. Puts that one in for strike 2. And you know, one thing about Batten is his record does not indicate how well he's pitched.
No, it doesn't. I mean, occasionally it's the bullpen that comes in and, unfortunately gives up a few runs that cost the game, but he throws very well.
And 1-2, and that one's chopped out to Shackelford at short. Backhands that one. The throw across the diamond is high, and Coffey caught it and comes down, but throws down to third. And, well, the Chinooks, they catch a break there as Shackelford had hurry that throw. Actually overthrew Coffey just a tad, but Coffey heads up play, throws down to third as Cuba Bess was coming from first to third, and Aaron Shackelford applies the tag. The Chinooks catch a break there, and that's going to do it for the first inning. One hit for the Pilots, but no runs. We head at the top half of the second, 0-0, and your Chinooks coming to the plate. We'll be back.
Only got a hit.
And we're back in the top of the second, and first pitch swinging Shackelford sends that in the left field for an Apo-Taco single. So the Chinooks going to have the leadoff base runner on for Justin Gomez to the plate. Gomez from Azusa Pacific. Also an all-star. So is Shackelford, who we just saw at the plate. Gomez hits here. Takes that one on the outside corner for strike one. Gomez hitting .206 this season with 19 walks and 19 strikeouts and 107 plate appearances. Awaits the 0-1 now from Huschel with a runner aboard first and nobody out. And a 0-0 ball game, and Gomez chops that. And a good athletic play by Huschel. And he has to flip that over the first as Shackelford was well on his way to second. Runner on first, and 2 outs now for the big hitting Preston White. And we are going to give him a standing ovation at the second place home run derby.
He was, and from what I know, I actually wasn't there, but he had 28 home runs on the day and was clubbing them as high as some of the light towers out in left field. And that's definitely an impressive feat for
Preston
anyone.
White from Memphis, Tennessee, going to be attending the Masters University. His stats might not show it as he's only hitting 129. He does have a homer, though. But he can, if he gets a good pitch to hit and he gets the ball on the bat on the ball, it will go far. As he takes that one outside for ball one. White typically seen on the mound, but tonight playing in left field is Mike Capriz. Is out with a hamstring issue. Mike Capriz, the center fielder, typically found in the leadoff hole, taking the day off tonight. Has a 1-ball, no-strike pitch with his future teammate at the Masters, Aaron Shackelford, on second. White takes that outside for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike now coming. 2 balls, no strikes, excuse me. Shackelford takes his lead off second. White waits the 2-0 from Huschel. And White just gets a piece of that, but sends that to the backstop. Foul for strike one. Shackelford does have 2 stolen bases. We don't see him on the move, but you can never count it out with John Gross' aggressiveness style. 2-1 here, coming to Preston White. In this top of the second here in Anchorage, Alaska. And that one hangs inside for ball 3. Now Preston White. Let's see if he can bring some of that home run derby magic. Not a better time to do it than with a hitter's count of 3 balls, 1 strike. And White watches that all the way in for strike 2. Full count here with a 6-6. Preston White. Ooh, and that one comes in. Preston White able to get out of the way, but he's going to take his base anyway, as that is good in for ball 4. And the Chinooks have something going here. With a runner aboard first and second, and we go from one home run hitter to the next. Luke Coffey, sporting the, it looks like, left-hand batting glove, right hand a bare hand. So watch out down there. There's a 50% chance he might throw it.
Hopefully, Coach Groth has enough athletic talent left in him to hit the deck if need be.
Well, I guarantee you, if you asked him, he'd say he definitely does. Guarantee it. As Coffey takes that one elbow high and in for ball 1. Coffey was the Chinooks, have 2 participants in the home run derby. Obviously, Preston White was the first one. Luke Coffey came in. He said he had about 5 or 6 homers, which doesn't sound like a lot from the get-go, but trust me, if you took everybody in the league and put them in a home run derby, that would be a lot, as he has a big hack, comes up empty there for strike 1. Coffey had his parents in town last week. Always nice to see the parents come in town. J.J. Julian's parents were also in town. Adam Rogers just came a few weeks ago. Always awesome to see the players' families who support them and love them so much come up and see them in person. As Coffey swings and misses for strike 2. 2 runners on for the Chinooks here in the top half of the second. Aaron Shackelford, the third baseman, on second. Preston White, the left fielder, aboard first. And the big hitting Luke Coffey at the plate, awaiting a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch here with a 1 away. Huschel sets and the 1-2. And Coffey just gets a hold of that one, but sends that foul down the third base line. And we'll have another 1-2 on its way. Another 1-2 to Coffey. Hoping to put the ball in play and outside of the infield here, somewhere that's green. And Huschel sets the 1-2 on its way again. And Coffey sends that out of play opposite field. And we'll have another 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Shackelford aboard second. White aboard first. And Coffey hit from the right side of the plate. Awaits for the third time. The 1-ball, 2-strike pitch here with a 1 away in the top half of the second. Let that come inside into the dirt. Skips away just a tad from Carter Benz, the catcher, but not far enough for any of the Chinook runners to advance. And so we'll have an even count of 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Coffey, the Westmont College third baseman, playing first tonight. Actually asked him over the break which he prefers, which corner. He actually said he's learned to like first base. As he watches that one out, ball 3, Coffey, typically aggressive, has garnered that back a tad and has watched a 1-2 go to a 3-2.
Coffey is a patient hitter, and he's just looking for that one pitch he knows he can give a little bit of a ride to. Hopefully he can find it.
Let's see here if he can, the 3-2 pitch. But first, Huschel going to look over to second. If you were with us on Tuesday, we played Beat Baseball, which is basically, we were playing the Seattle Sluggers, a blind team, and we had to play with a blindfold on. Coffey belted one. So he definitely knows he can do it. But he won't need to, as he takes that one outside for ball 4, and the bases will be loaded here for the Chinooks.
Be sure to check out Sport Clips, our team's haircut specialist located at
Bases loaded here for the Chinooks.
South the Diamond Center next to Subway.
And Adam Rojas to the plate as Carter Benz trots out to the mound to have a word with his right-hander just to calm him down here.
From Judson University, catcher number 15, Adam Rojas.
Bases loaded here for Adam Rojas at the plate. Takes that one outside in the dirt, but again, does not skip far enough away for the runners to do anything. Bases loaded. Top half of the second, Adam Rojas at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. And the Chinooks, with only 1 away, would love to do some damage here. The 1-0 to Rojas. And that one's chopped out to left center, and that ball is going to fall. And Shackelford is going to come in and score easily. And the Chinooks have a 1-0 lead here as that ball was just got down in time. As it looked like the center fielder out there, Will Brennan, might have a chance, but ultimately let that one go and drop in front. And the Chinooks have an early 1-0 lead as the base is still loaded for Alex Schmitz, the shortstop for tonight from Oral Roberts University. Bases loaded still. 1 out still. But this game no longer at zeros as the Chinooks take a 1-0 lead. And Schmitz watches that one in, backs away from that one for ball 1. Preston White on third, Luke Coffey on second, Adam Rojas on first, and Alex Schmitz the hitter. The 1-0 with 1 away. And that one's down in the dirt again as Carter Ben's able to get in front of that one for ball 2. Top of the order on deck, Jeremy Johnson, the Auburn outfielder, steps in the on-deck circle. Hoping to get a chance to hit here. 2 balls, no strikes. And Schmitz chops that out to Gregory at third. Gregory comes in, elects to not throw home, and Schmitz going to be thrown out at first, but gets the job done anyway. As Preston White slides in safely, and the Chinooks have 2 on the board here to take a 2-0 lead early. And Ryan, it's your guy, Jeremy Johnson to the plate. Once again, critical position. Runners on second and third and 2 away.
Base hit right here has the opportunity to score 2 for sure with just 1, which would always be pretty nice.
2 sounds better. As Johnson takes that one up high and in for ball 1 from Huschel. Reminder, as this is just a doubleheader, this game only goes 7, same with the next one. So that is something to keep in mind here. As once this inning's done, we'll be more than a quarter of the way there. As Huschel misses down and outside for ball 2. Johnson grounded out in his first at-bat to lead this game off. Comes here and waits the 2-0 with runners aboard second and third with 2 outs. The top half of the second. And Johnson sends that opposite field, and that ball's going to drop in right center. And this might be extra bases as Johnson's going to stretch over 2. Coffey comes home, the same with Rojas, but Johnson is safe at second as he was just able to get his foot in time. And the Chinooks, Ryan, you called it. They take a 4-0 lead.
There we go. Mr. Clutch coming in and doing it again with a double, sliding into second. For a minute there, we all thought he was out, but I guess the tag was just a split second too late. Now Levi Gilcrease with the opportunity to keep adding on here.
And Ryan, you said it. There was no doubt the 2 runs were going to score. But it looked like for sure Johnson was going to be thrown out there. But Johnson just able to put his foot at the bag in time before the tag. And he has a 2 RBI double to give the Chinooks a 4-0 lead here in the early half of this game. As the pitching coach for the Pilots is going to go have a word with his right-hander.
Teamsters Local 959, First National Bank Alaska, Earhart Roofing, Alaska Clearing and Grinding, and Alyeska Pipeline Services.
And the pitching coach watches back to the dugout. Cross for the Chinooks. And Levi Gilcrease with the runner aboard second has a chance to knock in another. As Jeremy Johnson takes his lead off second with 2 outs here. And Levi Gilcrease at the plate. But first, Huschel going to look back to second. Keep Johnson honest over there. And Gilcrease, first pitch swinging, chops that. In the infield, Cuba Best over there puts that away for out number 3, but not before the damage is already done. The Chinooks on 3 hits put 4 runs across to give them a 4-0 lead. When we come back, the Pilots come to the plate in the bottom half of the second. Your Chinooks 4, Pilot 0. We'll be back. Bottom of the second here, your Chinooks lead the Pilots 4-0 as Sam Cohen, the UC Santa Barbara catcher, to the plate. Playing the DH role, though, tonight, as he looks to lead things off for the Pilots in the bottom of the second. Mike Batten once again on the mound, as that one's sent out of play on first pitch swing and Cohen for strike 1. Cohen from Coto de Caza, California. Thank you to the 8 years of Spanish helping me pronunciate that one. The 0-1 from Batten. Ooh, and a nice off speed, just misses for ball 1. Cohen, in 52 plate appearances, it's a .288 average and has a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch from Batten on the way, who misses upstairs and outside. For ball 2, well, Ryan, we always say the Chinooks have the ability to strike, and they did so in the early half of this inning. Played in 4, so they give Mike Batten the run support here. As Batten misses up high, ball 3. Hitters count to Cohen, 3 balls, 1 strike. Chinooks lead 4-0. In the bottom of the second, and that one is going to be up high for ball 4. And the Pilots need to put as many runners on the base pass as possible, get off to a good start there. A leadoff walk issued to Cohen, and Carter Benz to the plate. Fresno State catcher and a Fairfield, California native. Carter Benz in 95 plate appearances, .295 batting average. Hits here with nobody out and runner aboard first. As Batten misses up high for ball 1. As Batten checks over, throws over to first. Cohen slides in safely. 1-0 from Batten. Inside for strike 1. Chris McCready on deck for the Pilots. As he looks to hit here. And we'll look to hit still nobody out. Let's see what Carter Benz can do with the plate. Even count of 1 ball, 1 strike, but nobody out and a runner aboard first in this 4-0 game as Batten checks over to first, but that ball gets away from Coffey. And Sam Cohen is going to slide in safely to second as Batten flipped over to first in what was a routine throw, but Coffey just could not get a hold of that, as it looked like the throw was in perfect position with Coffey. just did not see the ball into the glove, and that skips away from him, and that allows Cohen to advance to second. So all of a sudden, the Pilots have a runner in scoring position with nobody out and a 1-1 pitch to Benz, who takes a big hack at that one but comes up empty for strike 2. Runner aboard second, nobody out, bottom half of the second inning. And Batten sets with the 1-2 on its way. Just misses outside to even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Batten wanted that one, it looked like. But the man in black, whose opinion is the only one that matters, says no. So we'll have a 2-2 to Carter Benz at the plate. Not before. Benz going to call it time in the batter's box here. Recheck his stance, regrip the bat, refocus his mind. Big position here for the Pilots. Down 4, but every run to scrape away from that will do justice. The 2-2 pitch to Benz. Ooh, and that one comes inside and hits him. And Benz is going to take first, and all of a sudden the Pilots have runners aboard first and second and nobody out.
Next up for your Glacier Pilots, right fielder from the University of San Diego, number 2, Chris McCready.
Chris McCready to the plate from University of San Diego, a Valencia, California native. Hits here for the Pilots. And the Pilots might have something up their sleeve here. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Runners on first and second base. And the Chinooks holding a 4-0 advantage in this game in the first of a 2-game doubleheader. And we'll see here if McCready can keep this up for the Pilots as Batten sets and throws. Who misses up high and outside for ball 1. McCready sporting a batting average of 246 through 69 plate appearances. With 17 RBIs, has the chance to tack onto that. But looks that one outside for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch now from Batten, who steps off and regrips the ball. And will step back on the rubber. Batten typically throws from the right side of the rubber. Left side if you're looking from the broadcast booth. And the 2-0 pitch for Batten. And that one misses the strike zone for the 3rd time. And all of a sudden, the Pilots, with runners already first and second, nobody out, have Chris McCready at the plate. The Pilot right fielder awaiting a 3-ball, no-strike pitch. So Batten, to avoid walking the bases loaded, will have to find the strike zone here and put the ball in play potentially. And he does find the strike zone to stay alive in this count. 3 balls, 1 strike now for McCready. Hitters count. The 6'1" junior. 3-1 pitch. And a big swing and a miss by McCready. Going to put this count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Crucial pitch there by Batten. Let's see here what Adam Rogers, the catcher, calls here on this full count of 3-2. Critical pitch here as this could either push the bases loaded or put 1 out on the board. Batten sets in the 3-2 with runners aboard first and second, nobody out. And just misses on the inside. Not sure where that one missed. For ball 4, well, Ryan, we say it almost every game. Sometimes you love the umpire, sometimes you will say otherwise.
Yeah, that one was close. I didn't necessarily know where that one was, but, you know, I think that we'll have to, give him some grace, I guess, in this instance.
And all of a sudden, the Pilots have the bases loaded for the Austin Peay shortstop. The second baseman, Malcolm Tipler, who takes that one up high for ball 1. And automatically, Out of the dugout steps Chris Beck to trot out and have a word with his right-hander. And we'll see here where Chris Beck can hopefully rejuvenate his 6'5" right-hander Mike Batten on the hill. As the Pilots, bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the second. And Malcolm Tipler, the 8-hole hitter, having a 1-ball, no-strike count. Tipler, a 5'9" freshman from Jackson, Tennessee. 5'9". As he's one of the more shorter players you've seen. Aaron Shackelford over there at third base. Sports the 5'10" with shoes. As Chris Beck walks back to the dugout after having a word with his right-hander. Batten will step back on the mound, throwing from the stretch. A count of 1-0 and bases loaded, nobody out. In the bottom of the second, Chinooks 4, Pilot 0. But the Pilots looking to change that fast. As Tipler takes that one up high for ball 2. And right now, the momentum, obviously with a 4-0 lead, the Chinooks haven't rolled over completely. But in terms of momentum, it's definitely favoring the Pilots here. The 2-0 from Batten. And that one's lifted in fair territory and playable for Shackelford, who steps about a foot outside into foul territory and puts that away. Big out number 1 there for Batten. As bases will still be loaded, but with 1 out now, Batten is 1 ground ball away from getting out of this inning. Cameron Thompson from Kansas State, a 9-hole hitter. Hitting here with bases loaded. Chinooks 4, Pilot 0, and 1 away. And Batten outside for ball 1. Cameron Thompson from Pasadena, Texas, the Lone Star State. Hits here with bases loaded and 1 out. Thompson, 232 batting average and 95 plate appearances, waits the 1-0 and lines that in opposite field, and that's going to do some damage as Cohen comes home to score, but that's going to be the only run on that single. And the Pilots take 25% of the lead away from the Chinooks, as this lead's now down to 4-1. And top of the order, Will Brennan to the plate with bases loaded and 1 away. Pilots 1, Chinooks 4. In this bottom of the second inning. In there for strike 1 from Batten to Brennan. Brennan got aboard due to a walk. If you would ask him now, he would love to take that with the bases loaded here. Batten, the 0-1 to Brennan. Misses up high for ball 1. Carter Benz at third. Chris McCready at second. Malcolm Tipler at first. Cameron Thompson at first. For a bases loaded situation here with 1 out and a 1-1 pitch to the leadoff hitter for the Pilots, Will Brennan. The 1-1 from Batten, who sets on the mound, looks in and throws. And that one's chopped out to Schmitz at short, flips to Mitchie. 6-4, 3 double play, and Batten, after a bit of a excruciating bottom of the second, allows only 1 run. And so he'll take a big sigh of relief as he walks off the mound. Pilots scrape 1, and we head to the top of the third. Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. We'll be back with more Chinook baseball. Leading off in the top half of the third, the Aussie, Brandon Mitchie, Chinooks 4, Pilots 1 in this top half of the third inning. Alden Huschel on the mound for the Pilots throws that one in for ball 1 to Mitchie to begin things in the third. One-0 pitch now to the Chinooks second baseman. And that one is found to the backstop. Strike 1. Aaron Shackelford on deck, who sent an opposite field single into left. As Mitchie looks to get on base for the Masters University third baseman on deck. As Huschel misses outside and wide for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike here. And Mitchie watches that one in for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Mercury Bear at the plate, Brandon Mitchie, 2-2. And Mitchie is jammed inside and swings and misses for out number 1. And after that, Mitchie strikeout. Aaron Shackelford hitting with nobody on and 1 away in the top half of the third. And we'll see here what Shackelford can do. Like I said, single in his last at-bat in the top half of the second. We'll look to do sort of the same here. As usual, misses outside and low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike pitch to Shackelford. And Shackelford goes after that one. And lays off it. And that ball in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes here. Huschel looks in the 2-0 with 1 away to Shackelford. And a big swing and a miss for the left-handed hitting Masters University product for strike 1. Nobody on for Shackelford. 2-1 pitch on its way from Huschel. Outside and low, ball 3. Justin Gomez, the DH on deck for the Chinooks. The 3-1 to Shackelford at the plate, hitting from the left side. With 1 away, nobody on. And that one misses outside. And that's going to be ball 3, as it's actually a full count now. As the scoring was a little messed up there. But Shackelford roasts that one into center for a 1-out single there. Shackelford does it again. 2 for 2 in this game with 2 singles. And he'll be a 1-out base runner here for Justin Gomez and the Chinooks. Ball was absolutely roped.
It was. It almost took off Huschel's head, which that would have been rather unfortunate.
I think we would have had to call the game there.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit too much, but hopefully the medical staff would have been able to treat something like that.
I think that would have been the worst incident in baseball since Randy Johnson blew up a bird.
Yeah, probably.
As Gomez takes that one outside for ball 1. 1-0 from Huschel. As he checks over to Shackelford at first. 1 out here. In the top half of the third, Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. As we approach the 6 o'clock mark here in beautiful Anchorage, Alaska. And Gomez ropes that out to second, but just dies. Caught by Tipler at second and throws over to first to get Shackelford leaning. And, well, that's not a way you want to end things at the Chinooks. Line into a double play. We head to the bottom of the third. The Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. We'll be back with more Chinook baseball.
Your Glacier
Bottom of the third here in Anchorage, Alaska. Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. As Andre Gregory to the plate now for the Pilots. As Mike Batten once again on the hill. Got into a bit of a struggle in the bottom of the second, but worked his way out of it, allowing only 1 run. As he plops that one in down the middle on a breaking ball for strike 1. And the no ball, 1 strike pitch is up high for ball 1. The 2, 3, 4 hitters here for the Pilots. So if anybody does damage best, it's these boys coming to the plate in white. As that one says hello to Gregory's elbow, and he's going to take first base there. That did not sound good.
It didn't. I think it was mainly just the pad that it hit.
That makes
he
sense.
is wearing one, which is good. I mean, he didn't even flinch.
I would have had to go in the fetal position there. If that was me.
Would we have had to give you an Oscar for that one, or?
That would have been an Oscar, an Emmy, a Tony. That would have been everything. Put me in the Hall of Fame already. All righty, Cuba Best to the plate. Takes that one in for strike 1 with a runner aboard first and nobody out in the bottom of the third. Chinooks sport a 4-1 lead here against the Pilots in critical Alaska Baseball League action. The 0-1 from Batten. As Best sends that opposite field for strike 2. Well, Ryan, during the break, you're going to catch us up on some Alaska Baseball League action. How's that looking?
Well, for the standings-wise, the Oilers are ahead 2-0 ahead of the Anchorage Bucks, which for the Chinooks, we need the Bucks to win in this situation.
That's very
and just
true.
keep the Oilers out of the race here. But it is a doubleheader, and this is the first game of that doubleheader, so it could come back. We'll have to see. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning right now.
So we'll
top of the
definitely
4th, excuse me.
Top of the 4th. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. His Batten missed outside for ball 1. But like Ryan was saying, in most situations, you want to have the team with in the better position standings. In this case, the Bucks who are in second, as Batten comes inside for ball 2. But in the Chinooks case, you really just want the Oilers to lose so that the Chinooks can sneak in and steal that 4th position.
I mean, what would even be better is to try and get the 3rd spot, knowing that games between us and the Bucks are even better, and it's not the minors right away.
That's true. And obviously, you want the highest position, and so but ultimately, it's going to come down to, like Ryan, you were saying, anybody can win any day, so we cannot predict what's going to happen. But right now, with a runner aboard first, the 3-2 from Batten, and that one is laced opposite field and out of play for strike 2.
Foul ball sponsored by Carl's Jr.
Three balls, 2 strikes from Batten on the hill. Andre Gregory, after hit by pitch, stands on first and nobody out to Cuba Best. And he sends that out to left field. White comes in and puts that away for the first out of the bottom of the 3rd. Preston White looking good out there in left field. It's been a while since we've seen him out there.
Next up for your Glacier Pilots from Grand Canyon University, left fielder number 13, Ian Evans.
Pilots left fielder Ian Evans to the plate against Mike Batten on the mound for the Chinooks, who sets, looks to first, and throws. And that one hangs low and outside, ball 1. And Batten flips over to first. Gregory steps in safely. And the 1-0 pitch from Batten. And that one's chopped high to Batten on the mound, who throws over to first. Well, that one was set high in the air, so Batten had no choice but to just flip to first instead of getting the double play potentially. But now there's 2 away here.
Now batting from UC Santa Barbara, designated hitter number 7, Sam Cohen.
Sam Cohen out of the plate. 2 outs and a runner aboard second in this bottom half of the third. Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. As Batten plops a strike 1 in there. Sam Cohen, the DH for the Pilots tonight. And from the left side of the plate, awaiting the 0-1 from the right-hander on the mound for the Chinooks, Mike Batten. And this one is inside strike 2, as Batten was able to find the perfect location on that inside fastball. And he's ahead here, firmly in the driver's seat on the mound. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner aboard second. Batten gets the sign from Rojas, sets the 0-2. And that one is just chopped out to Schmitz. Schmitz going to have to hurry. The throw to first is in time. Schmitz, nice throw there from the shortstop position. Good for out number 3. And that's going to do it for the third. We head to the top half of the fourth. Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. We'll be back from Anchorage. Back at the top of the fourth as Preston White chops the first pitch. Swing down to third to Gregory, who throws over to first for the first out of the inning. As White goes down, 1 pitch, 1 out. And Luke Coffey to the plate here in the top half of the fourth. 4-1 lead here for the Chinooks. In Anchorage, Alaska, Huschel on the mound comes inside, ball 1. Just a reminder once more, this is a doubleheader tonight against the Pilots. So once this game finishes, we'll be back in about 25 to 30 minutes as that one is outside and skips in the catcher's glove for ball 2. Gotta love doubleheaders. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, nobody on to Coffey. As that one's down for ball 3.
I guess the umpires this year are following the unwritten rules of baseball that if the catcher isn't able to hold on to the ball, it's not a strike. Even if it was down the middle, it's simply just a ball.
Unwritten rules of baseball. Gotta love them.
There are many of them.
I think my favorite, that sometimes I don't actually agree with, is if there's a no-hitter and you try to bunt on them. I say if it's less than a 5-run lead, go ahead, bunt. You're trying to win the game.
Either that or if you're winning by like over 12 runs
and you keep
then you try and keep bunting. That almost started a fight a few years ago. But
here in this league?
In this league, it was between the Pilots and the Chinooks.
Wow.
Well, formerly the Fire. It was a while ago.
As that one comes inside for ball 4, and Coffey's going to take his base here with 1 away. Well, Ryan, maybe you can update me and the fans on this one. I was looking up on YouTube, looking at baseball fights as I naturally do in my free time between, Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox. And I looked up Alaska Baseball League brawl. Apparently, the Oilers and the Bucks had a major brawl a few years ago. Is that true?
That is true.
Wow.
It started off. It was the coaches were chirping at each other, and there were fists thrown. It was a full on fight that made Sports Center. It was on
Well, we got a lot of views on YouTube.
It was on the top knot.
Man, well, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go on YouTube and look up Alaska Baseball League fight. I promise you, it's probably PG, TV 14 maybe, but it's interesting. That's obviously you don't like fights, but it shows just how much these games mean to people. As Adam Roach is at the plate, as he chops at that 1-0 pitch for strike one, and Luke Coffey board first. Well, I would have to say, if the Chinooks ever, unfortunately, got into a brawl, I'm sending out the 6'7" Scott Smith.
Probably.
I'm sending him.
The guy I'd go stand next to.
I'm getting behind him and saying, Scotty boy, you go. As Rojas awaits the 1-ball, 1-strike pitch here with one away and a runner on first. And this Alaska Baseball League action as the sun is shining as ever here at 6:09. And Alden Huschel on the mound for the Pilot steps on the mound. 1-1, one away. And Luke Coffey board first in the top half of the fourth. Chinooks 4, Pilots 1. And that ball down low. Ball 2. Alex Schmitz, the shortstop, on deck. He'll be following Adam Rojas, who's currently hitting from the right side and awaiting a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And that one is laced in the left field, and that ball's going to drop. And Coffey going to try to go from first to third, and the throw is not in time. And Rojas going to slide into second, or so Rojas 2 for 2 in this ball game as his bats come alive in this game. The Chinooks going to have runners aboard second and third in the top half of the fourth.
And who do you know?
As Alex Schmitz to the plate.
Schmitz with the opportunity here to drive in a run, possibly two, and just add to the Chinooks' lead here.
Schmitz grounded into a ground out, but a run did score, so he did get the RBI. As he sends that into foul territory, Cuba Best going to give chase, but ultimately that's going to sail into the bleachers out there for strike one. Well, the Chinooks, sporting a 4-1 lead, would love to take that run back they gave away in the bottom of the second. Have a great chance to do this. 1 out. Runners on second and third. And Alex Schmitz awaiting a no-ball, 1-strike pitch from Huschel. And Schmitz sends that out. But sails out of the play here. And he's going to be down. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 to Schmitz with 1 away. Runners aboard second and third, and 4-1 lead for the Chinooks, top half of the fourth. Huschel looks in. The 0-2. And Schmitz jammed inside, but sends that out to Tipler at second. He's going to have no choice but to send that to first. And Schmitz, for the second time in this ball game, does his job at the plate, puts the run across home plate, and the Chinooks have a 5-1 lead as Schmitz grounds into a 4-3 ground out. But Ryan, nobody else better than Jeremy Johnson to try to hit with a runner aboard third and 2 outs.
He got a double the last time. A single right here would do. Hopefully he can execute once again.
As let's see if he can with a runner aboard third. 5-1 lead for the Chinooks. And first pitch swinging, Johnson out to Tipler at second. Tipler throws to first, so Johnson not able to come up clutch this time. But the Chinooks do put 1 on the board to give them a 5-1 lead. We'll be back as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Chinooks 5, Pilots 1. We'll be back with more baseball. We're back here in the bottom of the fourth. Chinooks have a 5-1 lead. Mike Batten on the mound once again as he throws up high for ball one. Carter Benz at the plate to lead things off in the bottom of the fourth with the Pilots. 1 ball, no strikes. And that one down low, ball 2. Two-0 pitch from Batten. Outside, ball 3. And Batten, who struggled to find his command in the bottom of the second, had a relatively easy bottom of the third as a 3-0 pitch who misses up high. And once again, Batten has a walk on 4 pitches, who's going to put a runner aboard first. And Chris McCready to the plate in this 5-1 ball game.
Number 2, Chris McCready.
Runner aboard first, nobody out, and Chris McCready up to the plate in the bottom of the fourth. And Batten misses inside, ball 1. The 1-0 from Batten. And that one misses high for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes, nobody out. Runner on first. And Batten finds a strike zone there to make it a 2-1 count here. Batten looks in to McCready, hitting from the left side. The 2-1. And that's up high, ball 3, and McCready going to have a hitter's count of 3 balls, 1 strike, and nobody out. Runner on first, bottom of the fourth. Chinooks 5, Pilots 1. As the Pilots have not had a lot of chances with runners in scoring position, we'll look to do that here. 3-1, and that one is up high and outside for ball 4, and Batten, after issuing 2 back-to-back walks, is going to get a meeting from his catcher, Adam Rojas. Going to go out there, tell him, hey, you're okay. It's just 2 walks. We're fine. We're a ground out away from getting two outs on the board. Let's just do that right now. As with nobody out and runners on first and second, Malcolm Tipler to the plate. And after back-to-back walks, the Chinooks going to get a right-hander warming up in the bullpen that looks to be Aiden Stout. We'll keep an eye on him. But right now we're focused on Mike Batten here, who puts that one in on the outside for ball, strike 1. Malcolm Tipler, the Pilot, second baseman. Hits here, runners on first and second, bottom of the fourth. Nobody out. And the 0-1 coming from the Chinook righty. And Tipler has the bunt down, pulled back, and Rojas throws down to second. The tag is not in time. Good heads-up play there by the catcher, Rojas. Almost got Carter Benz leaning out there at second. As the tag was just a tad late, but otherwise, good baseball play decision by Rojas. Now it's 1-1 to Tipler, who chops that one out of play, foul for strike 2.
That ball brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Batten sets the 1-2 to Tipler. And that one is out to left center, and that ball is going to drop in front of White. But fortunately for the Chinooks, that ball hung up just enough to keep Carter Benz from coming around third. So now it's going to be bases loaded and nobody out for the Chinooks. And the field hoping to get out of this as the 9-hitter. Cameron Thompson the plate, nobody out. And the bases are loaded here. Nowhere to put them. We'll see here what Batten does as the corner infielders, Aaron Shackelford and Luke Coffey at third and first respectively, come in. As any ground ball to those guys will be sent home first. But right now, Batten just needs to look to get an out anywhere, anyway. Strike one to Thompson at the plate. Top of the order on deck for the Pilots here. 5-1 lead for the Chinooks. But the Pilots looking to take that away on one swing as they have base loaded and nobody out. The 0-1 from Batten. And that one is sent fair. As that one is arguably, but that's going to score 2. And Aaron Shackelford, right as that ball was hit, turned around and was absolutely shocked that was called a fair. I was absolutely shocked that was called a fair. That looked foul. Bring it up in the booth. But all of a sudden, this game is 5-3.
And runners on first and second.
And that just shows you this game can turn in an instant. As all of a sudden, no matter if you agree or disagree, 2 runs come across. And this game is 5-3 now. And top of the order for Will Brennan, who takes that one outside for ball 1. Cameron Thompson did his job as the 9-hole hitter. Field. And that could have been extra bases, but the runner on third, Carter Benz, had to hold up as that looked like it might be caught by the third baseman. But nonetheless, the Pilots put 2 on the board. And that one is sent out to Mitchie at second, who flips to Schmitz, who's covering second. And throw to first is in time for out number 2. So a 4-6-3 double play to get 2 outs. Second to third on the play. So now in this 5-3 affair with your Chinooks in charge, the Pilots will have Andre Gregory at the plate and a runner on third, this time with 2 outs. Gregory takes that breaking ball in for strike 1 from Batten. The 0-1 from Batten. And Gregory again watches that off speed from Batten. Stroll into the strike zone. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2. And that one just misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runs already across for the Pilots to make it a 5-3 lead for the Chinooks. Runner on third for Andre Gregory at the plate. The 1-2 from Batten. And a swing and a miss, and Batten gets out of it with only 2 runs to his name this inning. Chinooks 5, Pilots 3 as we head to the top half of the 5th. We'll be back with more Chinook baseball. Top of the fifth here, Levi Gilcrease to lead things out for the Chinooks. As he takes that outside, the appeal down to first. The first base umpire down there says Gilcrease did held up. That's going to be ball 1 to Gilcrease. Chinooks 5, Pilots 3. As we're coming up on the 6:30 mark here in this AVL action. The 1-0 from Huschel. Outside to Gilcrease, ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. Inside for ball 3. And Gilcrease firmly ahead here. And that 3-0 finds the strike zone for strike 1. Hitters count here for the Baylor Bear at the plate, 3-1. As he's going to watch that out for ball 4. Gilcrease going to drop down to first on that base on balls. And the Chinooks. Base runner here with nobody out. And Brandon Mitchie to the plate in the top half of the 5th.
Now batting from North Iowa Community College, second baseman number 9.
Mitchie will be attending Mercer University next year with Chinook teammate Alex Crotty. Looks to start something here. As Gilcrease slides in safely to first. And as Huschel went for the pickoff attempt there. Aaron Shackelford on deck for the Chinooks. Right now Mitchie looking to get on base. As he takes that one outside for ball 1.
Mitchie, a pretty hard-hitting guy for the most part this season. Just unfortunately, he's hit the ball or struck out last time he was up, but first time he was up today, grounded out. Hopefully, he can come through here as he takes that outside for ball 2.
Mitchie, if he can get his pitch, he has all the power in the world needed to send it out of play. As with a 2-ball, no strike count, he could see that pitch. As that one is on the outside corner for strike 1. Gilcrease on first, nobody out, and a 2-1 pitch to Mitchie. In this 5-3 game in favor of your Chinooks, as that one is completely outside, and there goes Gilcrease down to second. The tag is safe. As Gilcrease was able to get in there, it looked like the tag might have come, but the umpire says no anyway. And so now, after Huschel missed outside for ball 3, Gilcrease takes second. And it'll be a hitter's count of 3-ball, 1 strike to Gilcrease on second, and Mitchie at the plate. Huschel gets a sign from Benz and the 3-1, and Mitchie sends that opposite field in the left. And Gilcrease is going to be held up at third, but Mitchie's going to try to go to second. And the throw down to second, the tag is safe, and Gilcrease crossed the plate to score. 6-3 lead as Mitchie thought it was a good idea to go to second, and he proves me wrong as he slides in safely. And Gilcrease comes across home to give the Chinooks a 6-3 lead.
And that call, even there by the second base umpire, I'm not really sure where that was. He looked out from here.
I know where Chinook broadcast is.
Brandon got in there, slid. I was like, that was pretty close. I would lean toward the Pilots for them getting the out. But I guess the umpire disagrees with me. And, it gave us a run and a guy on second base. So, I can't complain, but I don't know if it was the right call.
As no matter if it was the right or wrong call, Mitchie will stay on second. And he'll be on second base for Aaron Shackelford as the Chinooks plate 1 to give him a 6-3 lead. And Shackelford takes that one outside for strike 1. Well, that's back-to-back times. The umpire out there at second has kind of hurt the Pilots. Allowed Gilcrease to take his base, which will look like to be a caught stealing. And then Mitchie, trying to extend his single to a double, was looked to be thrown out, but was safe on the call. As Gilcrease takes that out for ball 1. Shackelford takes that outside for ball 1. 1-1. Nobody out. Top of the 5th. And Mitchie on second. Shackelford at the plate. 1-1. Down and low. Ball 2. Huschel looks in. And sets. 2 balls, 1 strike. And on the outside corner for strike 2, Shackelford. Right as that call was made, just made a face that, let's say, for better or for worse, he did not agree with that call.
No, I don't think he agreed, but hopefully he finds something here that is undisputable and he can rip it somewhere into the gap.
2-2. Outside, ball 3. Well, we talked about it a lot here. Shackelford, one of the more vocal guys on the team. Doesn't really give off that vibe in person, but when he puts on a uniform and he's in that dugout, he is not afraid to rip some people and be passionate.
Absolutely not. He will talk all the time.
Easily, the vocal leader of the team has a 3-2 pitch and swings and foul tips that into the glove of the catcher for strikeout and out number 1. As he, passionate as ever, hits himself on the head with his bat, frustrated with that as he wanted that. But he comes up empty for out number 1. And with 1 out now after that Shackelford strikeout, Justin Gomez, the DH for the Chinooks, coming to the plate here with a runner aboard second and 1 out in the top half of the 5th. Chinooks 6, Pilots 3. And Gomez watches that one in the dirt. Skips away from Benz, but not enough for Mitchie to do anything out there at second. One ball, no strikes to Gomez. Looking to put this ball in the gap somewhere as he does it so often. 1-0. Up high for ball 2. Mitchie on second, and the 2-0 pitch to Gomez here is outside, but good for strike 1.
Gomez right now, a base hit would be absolutely splendid at this moment.
Well, with Mitchie's speed out there at second, easily could come in if Gomez can put this ball in the outfield for a single. And we'll see here if he can do that with the 2-1 pitch. And he backs away from that one inside ball 3. Well, this is going to be the pitch to do it. Hitter's count of 3-1. Huschel's got to find the strike zone here. Gomez walked in his first plate appearance. Awaits the 3-1 with Mitchie aboard second in the top half of the 5th. 1 run already scored. Gomez trying to make that 2. And he sends that out to Tipler at second, takes it on a hop, throws to first. And that is good for out number 2 as Mitchie goes from second to third on the ground out from Gomez. And the big hitting left fielder to the plate with the runner aboard third and 2 outs.
Now batting from Birmingham Southern College, left fielder number 31, Weston White.
White will be attending the Masters University next year. Hits here with a runner on third and 2 outs. As that one paints the inside for strike 1. Luke Coffey on deck for the Chinooks. See, we'll look to hit here. Right now, White awaits the 0-1. And that off speed from Huschel plants inside the strike zone for no balls, 2 strikes now to White. Mitchie on third, 2 outs in the top half of the 5th, the 0-2 to White. And that one outside for ball 1 to White at the plate. 1-2. 2 outs, runner on third. Preston White looking to stay alive, the 1-2. And that one gets away from Huschel and hits White on the back, and he's going to take his base there. But runners on the corners for the powerful, yet passionate, Luke Coffey.
Coffey needs to just wait and find his pitch from Huschel. If he can do that, he has the opportunity to score 1 run, get one maybe to second or third. It looks like the Pilots coach is going to come out and have a word with Huschel.
As the Chinooks hold a 6-3 lead. And the runners on the corners here for Luke Coffey and 2 outs. So Huschel, as this is the second time he's going to have a meeting with the pitching coach, this will probably be his last batter. as the Pilots are probably hoping Huschel can get out of this and get through 5. But he's going to have to battle against Luke Coffey and runners on the corners here with 2 outs. And the pitching coach for the Pilots trots back to the dugout. And Alden Huschel will look to get out of this inning. He'll take a pop out, a ground out, or a strikeout. No matter what, he just needs an out. Brandon Mitchie on third, Preston White on first, and Luke Coffey hitting from the right side with 2 outs. Top half of the 5th, and Alden Huschel on the mound. And that one inside for strike 1. And that 0-1 is upstairs for ball 1. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Coffey. 6-3 lead here for the Chinooks. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, the 1-1 to Coffey. And Coffey sends that into left field, and that's going to score. A run for the Chinooks. Coffey does his job. 7-3 Chinooks.
Coffey brilliantly executed that, got that past the third baseman, and that was a great piece of hitting right there. And Rojas, 2 for 2 on the day.
Rojas seen the ball very well in this game. Like Ryan said, 2 for 2 in this game with a single in his first at-bat and a single which he extended into a double. So technically it scored as a single. But he was on second at the end of it. So we'll say it was a double in our mind. Comes to the plate here with 2 outs and a 7-3 lead for the Chinooks. And well, Ryan, any worries about maybe some rust after not playing competitive baseball as completely out the window? As Rojas sends that out to Gregory, and he's going to trot and step on third. And that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning, but not before the Chinooks put 2 on the board. And we head to the bottom of the 5th, Chinooks 7, Pilots 3. We'll be back with more Chinook baseball. Bottom of the 5th, Chinooks 7, Pilots 3. As Cuba Best steps in for the Pilots to lead things out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Mike Batten once again on the mound. As he puts that one in for strike 1.
Yeah, go ahead and turn on the mic and let's see what it does.
The 0-1. Outside for ball 1. One. And that one is chopped out in front of Rojas, who grabs it and throws to first. And in time for out number 1, Rojas, a little ninja ability there, as that ball looked like it might have been heading down to foul territory, but he ripped it away and out of the air. Out number 1, Rojas having a heck of a game.
Demonstrating some cat-like reflexes there.
As Rojas, 2 for 3 with the bat, and some great plays from the catcher's position. As he takes that one from batting up high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike from Mike Batten. To Ian Evans at the plate. And Batten, another breaking ball in for strike 1. 1-1 and 1 out. And Batten finds the strike zone there. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the GCU left fielder. Ian Evans at the plate. Batten gets the side from Rojas. Lines and throws the 1-2. And that one is sent foul as Evans, not a very comfortable looking swing there, had to go out and get it. But sends that one foul, and he'll get another chance here on this 1-2 count. Batten, 1-2 again. Just missed on the outside and high for ball 2. 2-2. And that one skips in the dirt for ball 3, and Batten goes from a 1-2 to a 3-2. Has to find the strike zone here. And potentially put the ball in play. The 3-2 to Evans. Batten winds and throws. And that one is ripped out to Schmitz at short, who calmly collects it and flips over to first. And Coffey had the ball in his glove, but it popped out. And Evans is going to be granted the infield single. As that is going to be a 1-out runner now for the Pilots. As Coffey will need to check that glove, as that's the second time his glove has come back to bite him in the butt. But the Chinooks do have a 7-3 lead. Don't want to get too comfortable, but that does leave some room for error, but not too many. As Batten now, facing Sam Cohen, puts that one in on the outside for strike 1. Runner on first, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Chinooks 7, Pilots 3, and the 0-1 from Batten here. As that one is in the dirt. Rojas going to flip to second. Schmitz applies the tag, and out. And Rojas again showing his impressive catching ability, and Rojas probably, arguably, having his best game of the season.
That is definitely something I would agree with. He has hit the ball well. He's thrown 2 guys out. And he was close to having 3 guys thrown out.
Yeah.
Just smart heads-up baseball. He's placing the ball well today.
As he takes that one down, low ball 1. Well, Rojas, who's been in a 3-man rotation of catchers, is having himself a game here. Batten with 2 outs and nobody on now, the 1-1. And that one is up high and outside, ball 2. 2-1 now. To Sam Cohen at the plate. In for strike 2. Even count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And strike 3 called, and Batten rings him up. And Cohen does not agree with that call, but the man in black says otherwise. We're through 5, Chinooks 7, Pilots 3. When we come back, Chinooks come into the plate in the top half of the 6th. Top of the sixth here. Chinooks lead the Pilots 7-3. With Alex Schmitz to lead things off for the Chinooks. As usual. This is outside, ball one. And inside to Schmitz, ball two.
Schmitz, right now. A hit would be great. Get on base, start things off here. Top of the sixth. He takes that one down low for ball three. 3-0 now.
And Schmitz, who in the score sheet is 0 for 2, but he has done a good job as he has brought 2 runners home on those ground outs. Takes that one in for strike one. It's kind of those unsung heroes who won't show up in the score sheet, but he'll have an immense advantage to this game as he's going to be on base for the first time as he takes that one in for ball 4. And now, with nobody out, Jeremy Johnson, the top of the order. Count of play for the Chinooks, nobody out, runner on first. Chinooks 7, Pilots 3.
And just a quick scoring update. Top of the sixth inning for the Bucks and the Oilers. It's now 2-1. And pull it out here.
As a reminder, that one is also a doubleheader.
That is a doubleheader. And it is just the first game. As Johnson takes that in there for ball 1. 1-0 now. Wouldn't call it a high-stress situation, but another run wouldn't hurt.
As the Chinooks do have a 7-3 lead, but as we've already seen, any lead is not safe in this league as Johnson takes that one in for strike one. Well, talking about that Oiler-Bucks matchup, it's almost a foregone conclusion just with the way the Miners are playing. Yes, they have a 3-game lead, but a 3-game lead is a lot when it comes down to just 12 games played. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces as Johnson takes that one in for strike two. But really, outside of the Miners, nobody I really think can really feel safe.
Not really. And I mean, it's a lot of just, one game could change it all, essentially, and who's going to the playoffs and who's not and who's playing who in the playoffs. So it's definitely something to watch. Johnson gets plunked.
Johnson has had a lot of bruises this season.
He has. I feel bad for him. I mean, not really. He's
such a great guy.
Wear it like a champ. But, a lot of pitchers do seem to hit him. I don't know why. He's a respectful guy. He's a good sportsman. He doesn't say anything.
That's funny. As now, with nobody out, runners on first and second. And I go to the stats. Hit by pitchers do not show up. So Johnson, well, I take that back. In the last 4 games, he's been hit 4 times. That's a pretty good average.
And it looks like there's going to be a pitching change as Huschel's going to be walking to the Pilots dugout.
And well, like Ron said, pitching change for the Pilots. That's going to be a short break for us when we come back. New pitcher on for the Pilots in a 7-3 affair. Runners on first and second, nobody out in the top half of the second, and Levi Gilcrease come to the plate. We'll be back after this pitching change. As we're back after that pitching change, Jake Kiley to the mound. In 3 games, has 6 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a 5.68 ERA. This is the first time the Chinooks are going to see him. And the first one to see him is Gilcrease, who plops a bunt to the backstop after he could not put that in fair territory. Alex Schmidt's aboard second. Jeremy Johnson on first. Schmidt's got on due to a walk. Johnson due to a hit by pitch. And now Gilcrease has the 0-1. We'll see here what Gilcrease can do in the 2-hole. The 0-1 coming from Kiley. Nobody out. Top of the 6th. 7-3 lead for the Chinooks. And Gilcrease could not put the bat on the ball as he missed that bunt attempt. And he's going to be down in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes.
Gilcrease, a base hit is necessary here. And Kiley kind of sporting the chicken wing here. Trying to think of the Braves pitcher that did the same thing.
I think you're thinking of Craig Kimbrell,
That is who I'm thinking of.
who's
Greg
now on the
Kimbrell.
Red Sox.
He's playing for the Red Sox.
But he was actually, there was one time where fans in the backstop, behind the backstop, would make fun of him. It was about 20, 30 of them would stand up, stick their arms out like Kimbrell. And it made him walk a few guys.
Him did. And
That's one thing you love about baseball. The 1-2 to Gilcrease, who chops that to the backstop. But yeah, I didn't see that before, but now you say that. He does stick that out like Kimbrell.
He does, and he's not throwing. He's throwing hard. Like he's easily throwing the low to mid 90s right here. So it's gas. I mean, if you can throw that hard, you can pull the chicken wing off.
You can do whatever you want.
I mean, I'm still gonna make fun of you just a little bit.
Runners aboard, first and second, nobody out, and the 1-2 to Gilcrease from the chicken wing armed right-hander, who sends that to Gilcrease, who sends that deep out of play. Foul ball, and we'll have another 1-2 pitch.
Gilcrease just staying alive here. If he can stay on it, he could potentially put something deep out in the outfield and at least let Gomez from second get over, and maybe Johnson with his speed can also move to second.
1-2. Just misses up high, ball 2. And Gilcrease is going to take a huge sigh of relief, as he probably would not have had a good case against the umpire pulling his ringer there for strike 3. But nonetheless, it'll be a 2-ball, 2 strikes now to Gilcrease. That's in the 2-2. And Gilcrease chops that out. To short, it flips to Tipler. It throws to first for a 6-4-3 double play. As Schmitz goes from second to third on the play, as there are 2 outs here on the top of the 6th.
2 outs now, an unfortunate double play there. Mitchie now up to the plate. Base hit would be splendid. Hopefully he can come across with it.
Who has been able to find the bat on the ball lately. The runner aboard third will look to do the same with 2 outs. Well, Mitchie takes that outside and low, ball 1. Top of the 6th, Chinook 7, Pilots 3. Alex Schmitz on third, and Brandon Mitchie awaiting the 1-0 from Kiley on the mound for the Pilots. And a big swing and a miss for Mitchie to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kiley sets, and the 1-1 to Mitchie. Hangs outside for ball 2. Good eye by Mitchie to lay off that one. Two 2-1. And Mitchie goes after that one, but comes up empty. For strike 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. With a runner aboard third for the Chinooks and Brandon Mitchie at the plate. Looking to put that 8th run across for the Chinooks. Kiley gets the call from Benz, sets 2-2 pitch. And that one misses outside to load the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. Kiley Gets the sign once more. Schmidt stands on third. Mitchie at the plate, the 3-2. And Mitchie goes after that one, but sends that out of play down the left field line. Foul.
That foul ball sponsored by Carl Jr.
3-2 pitch again to Mitchie at the plate, hitting from the left side. With 2 outs here and runner on third. 3-2. And that is going to be an easy take for Mitchie for ball 4. And Aaron Shackelford stepping to the plate with the runners on the corners and 2 outs.
Shackelford, once again, a good situation here. First and third, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. A base hit would be nice.
And Shackelford, who loves these moments, will look to come up clutch. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, top of the 6th. And Shackelford takes that high for ball 1. Good time to remind you guys, once again, this game is only to 7, as this is a first of a doubleheader. So each of these 2 games tonight will both be going 7 innings. So the Chinooks will be 6 outs away once we get done to the top half of the 6th. The Shackelford takes that one in for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Up high and hangs for ball 2. Kiley on the mound. Runners on the corners, the 2-1, and Shackelford sends that up to left field line. That ball is going to travel out of play to even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
We'd like to take this opportunity to say we appreciate Bob's services for being a loyal sponsor of Glacier Pilots Baseball.
Two count now. And Shackelford with 2 outs. And Shackelford stays alive, chopping that one foul. And so keep this count even at 2-2 as he breaks his bat on that one. So he'll be handed a new one from the bat boy, Ty Beck. And we'll step back in here with the runners on the corners and 2 outs in the 7-3 affair for the Chinooks. As we approach the 7 o'clock mark here in beautiful Anchorage, Alaska, the sun fully out. Kiley sets the 2-2 to Shackelford. And there goes Mitchie to throw down a second, and that is not going to be anywhere close. And Schmitz is going to come from third to home. And the Chinooks lead 8-3.
And on top of that, some more good news from around the baseball league. The Bucks have taken a 5-2 lead over the Oilers. Looking right now to figure out how they scored, my guess is they are a bit of a grand slam team. Would not be surprised if that's how it was. And it's actually looking like a couple of just well-placed singles. So no grand slam, but singles. But we'll take it any way we can get it here. The Oilers are now down 5-2 in the first game of their doubleheader.
In that game, like we mentioned before, playoff standings in position. And right now, with the Chinooks up 8-3, if they can hold this and the Bucks can hold that lead, we'll be right back in it. Shackelford went out to play the 3-2. And he goes after that high one and sends that to the backstop, and we'll keep this at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Second, 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Aaron Shackelford at the plate and Jake Kiley on the mound for the Pilots, the 3-2. And Shackelford goes after that one and sends that out to left field. Ian Evans goes back and puts that away. And that's going to do it for the Chinooks, but not before the Chinooks put 1 on the board to extend their lead to 8-3 when we come back. Pilots to the plate, bottom of the 6th coming up. Bottom of the 6th here. Chinooks 8, Pilots 3. Mike Batten once again on the mound. Misses up high. Carter Benz for ball 1. 1-0 to Benz. He sent out a play for strike 1. Even count of 1 ball, 1 strike here to lead things out from the bottom of the 6th for the Pilots. And that 1-1 misses high for ball 2. 2-1 is ripped into left field for a leadoff single here for Carter Benz and the Pilots.
Next up for your Glacier Pilots. Playing right field from the University of San Diego, number 2, Chris McCready.
Chris McCready now out of the plate. Up and a runner on first. Chinooks 8, Pilots 3. Here in Anchorage, Alaska. Batten in a stretch now. Looks over to first and sets. A swing and a miss by McCready. Strike 1. As Batten throws over to first. Benz. 0-1 to McCready coming up here with nobody out and runner on first, bottom of the 6th. As that pitch from Batten hangs outside, ball 1. Down to 1 ball, 1 strike here. As Batten flips to first. And the 1-1. And that one paints the inside of the strike zone, making it 1 ball, 2 strikes now from the Southern Wesleyan University right-hander Batten on the hill for the Chinooks in this 8-3 ball game. 7:05 here. Bottom of the 6th. The Pilots have 6 outs to work with. As that one's chopped out, Batten going to come off the mound. Can't get a hold of it. Shackelford barehands that throw to first. Is not in time. Still an impressive display there by Shackelford. Barehanding that one on the pickup. Throwing to first. Not in time, unfortunately, but Shackelford does show off his fielding ability. First and second are the base runners here. Nobody out. For Malcolm Tippler.
Malcolm Tippler.
Now Batten here with nobody out, runners on first and second. Will work out of a little jam here as Malcolm Tippler to the plate for the Pilots. Had the bunt down, pulled back after that one, missed high for ball 1. One ball, no strikes coming from Batten. Up high, ball 2.
An out right here is just crucial for the Chinooks defense. And it does look like we have someone warming up in the bullpen.
As we'll see here, Batten can get out of the 6th. Nobody out, runners on first and second, and a 2-0 on its way to Tippler. And that one comes in the strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Carter Benz on second. Chris McCready at first. Malcolm Tippler with nobody out. Awaiting the 2-1 from Mike Batten. 8-3 ball game in favor of your Chinooks. The 2-1 from Batten. Inside and low. Ball 3. 3-1 from Mike Batten. And down Broadway for strike 2. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out for the Pilots. They're looking to make up a 5-run deficit. Runners aboard first and second, and the left-handed hitting second baseman waiting 3-2. And that one is chopped out to center, but Johnson is right there, going to put that away. Benz thought about tagging up from second to third, but held up otherwise. And there's a 1 out now for the Chinooks in the bottom of the 6th.
1 out. Try and get a ground ball here and wrap things up.
Number 23, Cameron Thompson.
The 9-hole hitter for the Pilots, Cameron Thompson, now to the plate. Top of the order on deck for the Pilots. Thompson working with 1 out and runners aboard first and second as he looks to start at least a rally of at least 5 runs to get his team back in this ball game. Takes that first pitch for strike 1 from Batten to go down 0 ball, 1 strike. The 0-1. Outside and low, ball 1. One pitch from Batten. And that one is chopped foul. Strike 2. Pilots have runners on first and second here with 1 away. And the 9-hole hitter, Cameron Thompson, awaiting a 1-2 from Batten. And Batten misses outside, even up the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch. On that sails high from Batten to load the count full, 3-2. Three, 2 from Batten with 1 away. And that one hangs high for ball 4. And the bases will be loaded here. And Chris Beck going to go have a word with Batten. Might be the time the plug is pulled. We'll take a look.
Once again, baseball fans, we would like to welcome
Bases loaded here with 1 away, 8-3 lead for the Chinooks. Bottom of the 6th, this game does go 7. So the Chinooks need 5 outs, and that's going to do it for Batten. Batten goes 5 1/3, gives up 3 runs on 6 hits, and Scott Smith, the 6'7" right-hander, on the mound for the Chinooks. When we come back, Mike Batten leaves, Scott Smith comes in. But bases loaded, 1-out situation. We'll be back. Chinooks leading 8-3. Bottom of the sixth here with one out. New pitcher on for the Chinooks. Scott Smith with the bases loaded. Smith comes in for Mike Batten. And in 14 games on the mound, Smith has accumulated 21 and 2/3 innings. Good for 19 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 22 hits. And a 4.15 ERA, 1 win, 3 losses. And he misses inside and low for ball 1. So Will Brennan, the leadoff hitter here with the bases loaded and an 8-3 lead for the Chinooks. 1-0 from Smith. He's outside, ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to Will Brennan. And that's upstairs for ball 3. With the bases loaded, Smith going to have to find the strike zone here. Carter Benz on third, Chris McCready at second, Malcolm Tipler at first. And Will Brennan takes that one in for strike 1. Hitters count now, 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. And the Chinooks 8, the Pilots 3. As that one comes in, and that's going to be a run walked in. As Smith misses inside for ball 4. Benz comes across, making this an 8-4 fair. And Andre Gregory to the plate, 1 out still. Bases loaded still here. So Smith will be looking for the ground ball from Gregory.
Andre Gregory.
And Gregory takes that one in for strike 1. Smith from Savannah State University looking to keep this lead intact for the Chinooks and Mike Batten. The 0-1. Down and low over ball 1 from Smith. 7:15 here in this game 1 of 2 tonight. Bases loaded, and the 1-1 from Smith with 1 away. And that one is chopped out to Schmitz. Schmitz can not get a glove on that one, and that sails in the outfield. And Chris McCready scores to make it 8-5, as Alex Schmitz could not field that one cleanly. It is 8-5 now, and this game slowly coming out of the grasp of the Chinooks. 8-5 now, and the 3-hole hitter, Cuba Best, to the plate with bases loaded and only 1 out still. As Schmitz out there in short, it was a hard line drive, but it looked like he was able to get to that on the backhand, could not come up with it cleanly. And that's his second error of the game. Hopefully, Smith can rebound from it to Cuba Best, who puts that one inside for ball 1. To Best at the plate with bases loaded. And an 8-5 lead for the Chinooks now after 2 runs came across to score for the Pilots in this bottom half of the 6th. 1 ball, no strikes coming from the 6-7 righty on the Chinooks. Scott Smith, who misses up high, ball 2. And after that, miss up high, ball 2. Adam Rogers going to have a word with Scott Smith.
Propane for all our grills.
(2-0) after Rogers trotted out to have a meeting with Smith on the mound. Bases loaded, 1 away. 2-0 from Smith. And Bass thought about it for a moment, but held off, and that is in and low for ball 3. And all of a sudden, Smith has to find the strike zone here. 3-0. And in for strike 1. Big strike there from Smith. As if 1 run comes across without an out, that would mean the Pilots would be 1 hit away from tying this game up potentially. A 3-1. And that is outside for strike 2 as Cuba Bass is on his way to first. And Ryan, I would say we're pretty biased, but that looked like ball 4.
It looked like ball 4. It could have been a makeup call from the last one. Pilots fans right now voicing their disagreements, and it's not helping the amount of alcoholic beverages that are being served there.
And that one is in for ball 4 from Smith, and that's going to plate another run on a base on balls from Smith. And this is now an 8-6 game. As Ryan, that could be called, that was a makeup call.
I don't agree with that call. It was pretty much right over the plate. Couldn't have really been any closer.
As the Pilots now down 8-6 with bases loaded and 1 away, have a pitch hitter, Chandler Anderson. And Anderson, from University of Utah, takes that one in for strike 1. And a big pitch hitting opportunity for Anderson. Coming in for the left fielder, Ian Evans. Bases loaded, 1 out. 8-6 lead for the Chinooks. And Scott Smith, the 0-1. And that ball's out to Schmitz at short. Schmitz fields it, throws to first, and in time for out number 1. And after that ground out, run does score, and that makes it a 1-run game. And the Pilots have put 4 on the board, and the Chinooks lead has dwindled all the way down to 1. And the Pilots, with runners on second and third and 2 outs for Sam Cohen, 1 hit away from tying, if not taking the lead, and Cohen takes that one in for strike 1 from Smith. Yo 1. And a big swing and a miss by Cohen. Goes down in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Smith looks in. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Chinooks 8, Pilots 7, the 0-2. And that one's chopped out to Coffey at first. Coffey fields it. And they'll step on the bag, and the Chinooks escape, barely holding on to this lead. It is 8-7 after the Chinooks put on 4. We head to the 7th and final inning. The Chinooks come to the plate, and we come back. Top of the 7th and final inning as the Chinooks look to put some insurance runs on the board, as they came into the 6th with an 8-3 lead and they left with an 8-7 lead. They would be a lot more comfortable to get some of those runs back. Justin Gomez takes that one in for strike 1, hoping to start something here with the Chinooks. Preston White on deck. On the mound for the Oilers. And the 0-1 to Gomez. Gomez chops that foul down the third base line for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to the Chinook DH. And that 0-2 pitch is up high for ball 1. And that one comes upside and high and inside. And Gomez. Even can at 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2. And Gomez chaps that out, and Tipler goes up and gets it and takes away a hit from Gomez. The first out of the ball game, the top of the 7th. As that ball was smoked, but Tipler was able to go up the ladder and come down with it. Route number 1, and Preston White with nobody on and 1 away. Preston White to the plate. And this 8-7 affair in favor of your Chinooks. Kiley winds and throws, and White takes that one in for strike 1. The 0-1 to White. And White watches that one in for strike 2. Kiley on the mound for the Pilots, firmly in the driver's seat here, ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. With nobody on and 1 out in the top of the 7th and final inning of this first game of a 2-game doubleheader. The 0-2. And White foul tips that in the catcher's glove to go down on a strikeout. 2 outs now for the Chinooks in the top half of the 7th for Luke Coffey to the plate here.
Next up for the Chinooks from West Point College, first baseman number 30, Luke Coffey.
Coffey hits, 2 outs, nobody on. That breaking ball does not break enough. And that one hangs high, ball 1. And that 1-0 comes inside, ball 2. We'll see here how Coffey works this 2-ball, no strike situation. And Coffey goes after that one, but tips it and sends it to the backstop for strike 1. To make it a 2-ball, 1 strike count. In this top of the 7th. Chinooks 8, Pilots 7. As the Pilots looking to keep it right there for their final 3 at-bats. The 2-1. And Coffey puts that up in the air. And it's going to be called off by McCree to the right fielder, who puts it in his glove. The Chinooks go down 1-2-3. When we come back, the Chinooks looking to close this thing off as we head to the bottom of the 7th and hopefully final 3 outs. Chinooks 8, Pilots 7. We'll be back. Bottom of the 7th, folks. Chinooks lead by 1, 8-7. Scott Smith on the mound looking to save and close things out here against Carter Benz. And Smith plants that one in for strike 1. And as we're in the bottom of the 7th, same thing with the Bucks-Oilers matchup. The Bucks still in favor, up 5-2. So if the Chinooks can find a way to get 3 outs without allowing a run, and the Bucks can get 3 outs without allowing 3 runs, the Chinooks will be tied for last, or should I say 4th, as that one's chopped foul, making it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smith looks in, gets a side from Rojas. 1-2 pitch. Hangs high, ball 2. Smith, a 2 ball, 2 strike. Delivery here. And that one sailed way up high. Ball 3. Carter Benz looking to lead things out for the Pilots, looking to stay alive in this game. Smith looking to close it out. 3-2 pitch. And that one hangs high for ball 4. And once again, the Pilots are going to get a base runner due to a free pass.
Next up for your
And with nobody out
from University of San Diego, right
and a runner on first,
Chris
McCready, a Pilot right fielder. And it'll be interesting to see if the bunt signs put down. We haven't really seen that side, the Pilots here. They're more of an aggressive side. Just letting everyone hit. But in terms of strategy, it wouldn't make sense to see the bunt go down.
And Samuel Blair called in a pinch run over there for Benz on first.
Well, we'll see if Rojas potentially gets another chance to show off that arm.
That would be good.
As Blair, with the bottom of the 7th being the final inning, you're down 8-7. We'll see if he tries to steal. As McCready sends that out of play for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike now to McCready. Samuel Blair, the pitch runner, aboard first. Nobody out. Chinooks 8, Pilot 7 as we have passed the 7:30 mark here. The 0-1. And the bunt goes down, but foul down the third base line. So McCready being the hole here, 0-2. And we'll see here just how aggressive the Pilots want to be. As if you bunt on a 2-strike pitch and that bunt goes foul, it's a strikeout. So we'll see here what McCready and the Pilots elect to do. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, runner aboard first. Chinooks lead by 1 in this final frame. The 0-2. Smith, good idea there, checking over to Blair. Keeping him honest over there. As McCready steps back in, hitting from the left side. Smith sets the 0-2. And Blair had the bunt down, but they're going to say to not pull it back in time. And that is going to be strike 3 called. And the Chinooks catch a break there for out number 1. Blair had the bunt down, pulled back, but did not pull back fast enough. And now, with 1 away and a runner aboard first, now Malcolm Tipler to the plate. Let's see if Samuel Blair, who just gave him a pitch run moments ago, tries to use those wheels on first. And Smith again checks over. Good idea. Keeping Blair honest. Making him not get too comfortable down there at first. Tipler, the second baseman tonight for the Pilots. Blair takes his lead off first with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th and final inning. And Tipler watches that one in for strike 1. I was about hands high on that one from Smith. The 0-1. And Tipler sends that out to center. Johnson right there. Barely moves his position, puts that in his glove, and 2 outs now. All righty, folks, strap in. 2 outs.
Next up for your Glacier
The
pilot.
Chinooks 1 away
From Kansas State,
from winning this first game of tonight's doubleheader. We'll have to get through the 9-hole hitter Cameron Thompson. We'll see here if Samuel Blair tries to steal second. Chinooks 8, Pilot 7, 2 outs. And a runner on first. Chinooks 1 out away from victory. As that one comes in for strike 1. The 0-1. As Smith checks over to Blair once more. Samuel Blair on first. The 0-1 from Smith to Thompson. And Smith misses on the outside. Good eye by Thompson there. Evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. One. And that one is a swing and a miss. And Rowe just throws down to second, and that ball skips past Schmitz. But Blair did not actually attempt the steal.
That's not something I've really ever seen. Like, that's a bad situation if Blair steals, but he was still on first base. So, you won't have to perform CPR on me over here.
Not really sure where that one was going, but Rogers maybe just making sure, as Blair did look like he made a move, but laid off. Smith, the 1-2, 1 strike away from victory here. 2 outs. And that one just missed the strike zone and evened the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th and final frame. And it looks like John Groth's going to have a word. As the umpire is saying 3-2, but I have 2-2. Obviously, as the broadcaster, you don't have that much pull in terms of power.
No, I mean, we do have this.
And, well, after the umpire, he's going to say it's 3-2 for some reason. And that one's chopped to Mitchie at second. Mitchie fields it, throws to first. And 2-2, 3-2, who cares? The Chinooks win this game 8-7. And, well, it looked like we might just coast to victory, but the Pilots made it interesting. And we win this game 8-7. Reminder, folks, this is just game 1 of a 2-game doubleheader. When we come back, I am guessing it will be an 8 o'clock start. Stay on top of social media in about 20 to 30 minutes. Grab some lunch, or I should say dinner, unless you're from the South. Grab some food, go to the bathroom, and we'll be back in about 20 to 30 minutes. This is Ryan Beck and Cale Dewar signing off.